So, start of day 2. I'm commencing in a bit of a breeze today, but it's hopefully that won't make it too difficult and keep my temperature down a little bit. So I'm starting off from Anglesey, where I stayed at the Seaview guest house just across the street there. That was fine. And now I'm walking up to put Point Linus today via Malfra, and it's a 14 miler. And I'm going to get going. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's one of those locations where you have to phone ahead to make sure you get your pickup, because there's not very good phone signal up there. So I'm going to get going and see how it goes. So this little bay is called Borthwen, and it's single rock beach, but just around the next corner we should be coming up to a beach called Buchan, B-Y-C-H-A-N. So some steep steps here just to navigate, and we're away. Well, we're just coming around the next headland into Treath Buchan. You can see Malfra in the distance over there, and this is Buchan itself. I'll switch the camera off until we're coming around the headland, and we should be able to get a good view of the beach. That's Treath Buchan. There. Spectacular scenery, spectacular. So I've made my way down from that last headland. Tide is on its way in, but it's nice just walking on firm sand. I'm just heading to those steps over there, which will take me around this next headland. But this Treath Buchan is a well-kept secret. I think it says in the guidebook you can't actually drive to it, and I can see why. It's absolutely lovely. So it's a bit windy, so I'm not really sure how good you'll be able to hear my talking, but we're just at the top of the fishing village of Malfra, and you've got the lifeboat station over there where the museum is, and just looking down the coast from where we've come from, it's looking brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, I'll drop down and get out of this wind. So this is the visitor centre. This is where the boat, the Royal Charter, was lost, and there's a sort of heritage centre as a consequence of that boat crash, where apparently tons of gold was lost at sea. And let's have a look inside, see if we can get a cup of tea. So I'm leaving Malfra behind now, and just on the coast there you'll see that little island in Malfra, and the pathway goes past this bungalow, carries on along with this quite rugged path. So we've been walking around the headland for 20 minutes, half an hour, and we're now coming to Treath Buchan. Don't shout at me if I pronounced it wrong, but another nice sandy beach that we're just going to circumnavigate before we head out that way. Tide's coming in, but the next beach, if I'm not there fast enough, and it doesn't matter if I am, AD from Anglesey Walking Holidays told me that it's a good place to sit it out and wait, you know, rather than taking the high road. Someone up there on a sailboard. Looks at it. So this is where we leave Cloggery Beach behind. We have to go over this little footbridge to get onto the other side. Look at the path through the dunes again, on the way to the next location. So this is another little beach called Treath Buchan, and you just have to come down on it from the steps back there. And you can see the path goes up onto the grass again, just to go around this little headland. So as you come down these steps, you come to this little junction, and the actual coastal path goes inland here, but there is a footpath that takes you out onto the headland there if you want to go and have a look over the top. I'm not bothering today, I'm just staying on the track, so I'm going to go straight up here now. So I've just come over this top here, and just over that brow there was a small lake which was drying up, and the idea is that you stay right at that lake and just keep walking, and you'll come to this gate here. And then basically what we're going to do now is follow this track down, and you can just about make traffic out in the distance down there. So we're basically coming inland for a bit to get around the next estuary before we curl back onto the coast. So just a little bit of trudging now, so I suppose now I'm going downhill now, I'll be going back up again soon. So I've gone past the pilot boat in, and after the 200 metres on the road you turn right and then left again, and then you start walking down into what is going to be the Dulles estuary. The tide's on its way in. Where that white building is there, there's one bit where you have to be careful apparently if the tide's high, so I've had the warning. If it is too high to walk through, well basically we just wait until it's time for us to get through safely. We'll start heading down towards the water's edge now. So leaving the Dulles estuary, got some tarmac to do now, probably about a kilometre or so before we start switching right back towards the headland. So boring stuff up here, a few farms and stuff, not much to see. So having sort of come up and around the back of the Dulles country estate, we come to this junction in the road, and you can see there's a finger post here. Now the track is the left hand one of these two. There's a sign there, look, and it's at a place called Mulberry House. We're just going to drop down here now. Well, I've made my way back down to the ocean's edge. Here's the sign up. Tide's right in. Monument out on the rock there. So we're just basically now having to follow the cliff edge really. And the guy that's looking after me says that for me to get hold of him on the telephone I have to ring as soon as I see the Port Linus lighthouse, because the signal drops out beyond that first sighting, so that should be interesting. Anyway, I'll press on. So I've just got my first sighting of the lighthouse at Linus. So I climbed to the higher ground just over there to get a 4G signal, and that's worked. So I've just got to make my way there now. So when I came to the end of the grass path, the signpost for the walk, for the coastal path, were left back towards Anglesey, where I'm going to get picked up later. But if you turn right on the tarmac road, you can walk up to the Port Linus lighthouse, a big white building up in the front there, and it's quite a nice view, just looking down over Port Ilias as well. That's nice. Well, this is the entrance, Linus Point, built by the Mersey Docks and Harbour Board in 1835, unbelievable. 2 rental cottages. That's amazing. You can actually come and see the actual light in the building itself. Unbelievable. Automated apparently now. But the guy who was the landlord in the Ship Inn in Red Wharf yesterday was saying that this is one of the more treacherous areas to navigate around here. This is where the two tides meet. So other than the Menai Straits, this was very technical. And that's one of the reasons that this lighthouse was built here, not just to keep them off the rocks, but to help guide them around.